And just for reference, my cat tree is right here and Isaac is sitting in it, so that's his tail right there. Hello everyone, my name is Emily and welcome to another video on Emily XO. As I said, my name is Emily and welcome. I put up various beauty, lifestyle, miscellaneous videos every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you are new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and join along on our journey of beauty, makeup, lifestyle, and all that fun stuff. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so glad you decided to stick around. So today's video is going to be a foundation review because I love foundation reviews and I hope you guys do too. The one we are reviewing today is going to be the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation. So this is not a brand new foundation, this is actually a reformulated one. I did not get a chance to use the previous Superstay line that they had many years ago. However, I have watched a couple review videos specifically by the Taylor, and she said that the old formula and the new formula are nothing alike, so I don't even have that background anyway, so we're just gonna go in with a fresh review on this and see how we like it. Alright, so this foundation does come in 24 shades. I do have the shade 110 Porcelain here, which is my shade match for the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. However, it's not my shade match for the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, but you guys will see in the video what I actually think of the shade and how it ends up really working out for me. I am going to go ahead and go through the website for Maybelline and just read through some of the claims of this foundation. Alright, so the Maybelline Superstay Foundation is a full coverage foundation that delivers 24 wear for concentrated coverage and a flawless finish that doesn't fade or shift all day. The lightweight yet high impact coverage formula glides onto skin for flawless makeup finish that lasts all day, oil-free, doesn't clog pores, and dermatologist tested. So that's really all Maybelline gives as far as a description on their website here. I do have the reviews and ratings pulled up as well, and it has an overall 4.2. I have though heard some really mixed reviews from what I've seen and watched. Some people seem to really like it, some people seem to really not like it. I do know that Maybelline isn't super known for full coverage foundations though, so I'm interested to see how this actually ends up working out. And we will go ahead and insert some swatches right here. Alright, so let's go through some swatches here. So here we have the Maybelline Superstay Foundation in the shade 110 Porcelain. Here we have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 110 Porcelain. Here we have the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth, also in the shade 110 Porcelain. As you guys can see, like there's kind of a difference in between these. These two are pretty close, but this one is way, way different. This one is the ColourPop No Filter Foundation in the shade Fair 10. And finally, we have the Healthy Foundation in the shade LN3. So I will also mention that this does retail for $11.99, which to me is a little bit more on the expensive side. I've noticed drugstore overall is going a little bit higher in price. Typically, I like to keep my foundation price. Honestly, for a drugstore, I like to keep it around $7 to $8. I do use the Maybelline Fit Me a lot, which that one usually is between $7 to $8. So $11.99 is a little bit high, but we'll see how it ends up actually working overall. But otherwise, let's go ahead and jump into the video. We are going to do a full 12-hour wear test today, so if you are excited, make sure to hit that big thumbs up button so I know that you guys are enjoying the review. And I think that's about all I have to say, so fingers crossed that this one is a good one. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the review. I have already washed, moisturized, and prepped my face. For moisturizer, I first went in with my Neutrogena Hydro Boost with the SPF 15 in it, and then I also went in with my Crazy Essentials Replenishing Facial Oil. I have elected not to use a primer today. I am just sticking with my facial oil, partially because this is a matte finish foundation, and I don't love a true matte finish. It makes me look very dry as I already have dry skin. So if I use the facial oil, that helps just give it a little more radiant, glowy look, which I prefer, and it can give it a slightly sheer coverage, so I will keep that in mind when doing my review. But as far as I've been able to tell, I've used this a lot of times as a primer. It doesn't like break down the foundation any faster or anything like that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I'm going to be just using this little lid here, and we are going to use this to just put the foundation on. Now, you guys have already seen swatches. I have not done them yet, and I'm a little worried about the shade. Now, 110 Porcelain is my shade match for the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, but the Dewy and Smooth has the same like shade 110 Porcelain, but it's very, very off. I've noticed that in other swatches I've done, so I don't know, this looks like it might be a little warm toned, We're gonna see. I'm gonna go in with a sponge on this half of my face and a brush on this half of my face and just kind of see how they apply. And just for reference, my cat tree is right here and Isaac is sitting in it, so that's his tail right there. Ooh, this looks like it's gonna be thick. It did say that it was full coverage though, so we will see. I do have a mirror right here, so I'll kind of be bouncing between the two, but let's go in. I'm a little worried about that shade. I think it's gonna be a little bit dark, but we're gonna make it work. I've heard really mixed things about this foundation. Ooh, okay. Shade actually isn't looking too bad, so that is really good news. I was afraid that it was gonna pull too warm, and since I am a more neutral undertone, when I go too warm, it goes really orange on my face. But this actually isn't looking too awful bad. I will say though, like the facial oil and the sponge combined are definitely giving it a more lighter coverage. We're gonna try and build it up a little bit initially here. Ooh, okay. The shade looks really, really weird here, but actually in like lighting here, it doesn't look too bad. But it definitely toned down a bunch of my redness. I would say right now, I would call this high medium. I don't know if I'd go for a full coverage, but actually I'd say it's pretty close, even with the sponge and the facial oil. I've got a freckle here that is like just barely coming through, but for the most part, seems to be covering. So not too awful bad. I like the finish with the sponge. I would say it looks pretty radiant, pretty nice. So overall, not too bad actually. I'm pretty impressed. Bring it down my neck just a little bit, just to make sure it looks okay throughout the day. But yeah, overall, interesting. I did use almost 2 pumps on that though, so we'll see if the brush works any differently. We'll try just 1 pump and kind of see where that gets us. So this is the e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. I did use it in my last foundation review for the Maybelline Fit Me Stick foundation. I'll have that link down in the description if you haven't watched that already. I personally am not a fan of brushes. I think it leaves the foundation looking weird and streaky for me. I've just never really been able to make a brush work, but for the sake of a review, I do at least like to try and apply it with a brush, just so I can kind of give you guys an idea, if you prefer a brush, what it kind of ends up looking like. This one actually isn't going too badly. I'm impressed. It is getting a little bit streaky in spots, so I think I might go over it with a sponge just to smooth some of it out. I would almost say, it's hard because I have a couple more acne spots on this side than I do on this side, but I would almost say that I'm getting lighter coverage overall with the brush over here than I was getting with the sponge, which is really interesting because normally it's the other way around. Normally you would get fuller coverage with a brush than with a sponge, but I know I did build it up slightly on this side with the sponge, so we're gonna go in just a little bit more and see how it goes. I'm gonna do about half a pump and just see where that gets us. I would say though that this definitely is a fuller coverage foundation. Like, it's looking very makeup-y on my skin, which isn't my favorite. I really like a good like medium coverage where it covers up what it needs to cover up, but it doesn't look makeup-y. It can still look like skin. So I'm very much a medium coverage person, so this full coverage is definitely looking makeup-y. It's not coming across as much here, but I'll zoom in for you guys here shortly because it's definitely, I can see it in the mirror, it's definitely just looking a little bit cakier. Yeah, I think I am gonna go in with the sponge. No product on it, but just enough to kind of smooth out some of those streaky spots. overall, this isn't looking too bad actually. I think using the oil under it definitely helped give it that radiant glow that I really like from a foundation. So that, I think it applied really nicely with that, so I'm enjoying that. I think the shade actually was a really good match, surprisingly. I thought it was going to pull too warm, but at least in this lighting, it's looking okay. I just need to smooth this out here. But I will say though, it is starting to look a little bit cakey already. I'm going to kind of come in a little bit closer with you guys. You can see, like, especially around the nose area, it's already starting to kind of settle in and look a little bit cakey and everything. So I'm not sure how it's going to look throughout the day. Might be one of those that looks kind of gross by the end of the day because it just settles in everywhere. But overall, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I've heard mixed reviews on this one, so we'll see how it kind of lasts throughout the day. I will say, as far as it feels, it doesn't feel super heavy, but I can definitely tell that there is makeup on my skin. I feel like that layer of makeup for sure. So it's not a super lightweight formula. It doesn't feel super, super gross, but it's definitely one of those I can tell I have makeup on my skin. But I am going to go ahead, I am going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I will check back in with you guys, and we'll kind of see how it goes. We're going to call the check-in time right now 9:35. That's when I just finished up the foundation. We are going for a full 12-hour wear test, and because it is currently a Saturday when I'm filming this, and I'm not going to work, we're going to have slightly better check-ins. I'm going to be able to do one like every few hours or so, rather than giving it like 8 hours after. So we're gonna have a couple more check-ins today, and we're gonna go ahead and see how we like it, see how it goes. So hopefully this is a winner. Alright, I am back. I have applied the rest of the products to my face. I will go ahead and link everything down below in the description as far as what else I'm wearing. Overall, I am not enjoying this one a whole lot. I did end up setting just this area of my face just because it is a little bit tacky, so I didn't think everything would blend on super well. But with this one here, I can definitely see a lot of my pores and texture emphasized. So I'm not loving how like my blush and my bronzer blended out on top. And it is already starting to look really cakey in this area, which is a big issue that I have with a lot of foundations. They like sink in and settle into these lines right around my nose and then like my smile lines here. So we'll see how this one goes. There are some foundations that warm up better to your skin throughout the day and end up looking really great, really flawless. I will say that they were correct on the fuller coverage. I don't think it's a very lightweight formula because, like I said, it feels heavy on my skin. So overall, right now, I'm feeling kind of iffy about it, but we'll see how it lasts throughout the day. And so I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Alright, so it is currently 12 o'clock. We've had this foundation on for about 2.5 hours now, and the sun is starting to peek through just a little bit. So this is as close to natural lighting, I think, as we're going to get today, since it's supposed to be really rainy and dreary all day. So I wanted to give a little check-in here. I did just finish lunch, so let's see. Looks like it's kind of creasing a little bit around the mouth here. Nose, a little bit, not too bad. Overall though, it looks like it's staying on pretty well. Like, I think it looks about the same as it did when I first applied it, other than like right around the mouth, which usually happens when I'm eating anyway. So I think it's staying on pretty nicely, and it still looks okay from far away. Now up close, you can kind of see a lot of my texture and pores are like out to play here, and it looks a little bit cakier, but from here I look flawless. So we'll kind of see how this one goes throughout the day. I am going to go run some errands now, and we'll just kind of see how it keeps on keeping on. Alright, so it is 7 o'clock, well, 7:09, so we are coming up on the 10-hour mark here. Well, we've hit the 10-hour mark, and it's like really, really missing around like my whole mouth area. My nose is creasing really bad, and it just overall looks very cakey, very makeup-y, and I'm not enjoying how this foundation is looking right now. I even asked Kyle earlier what his thoughts were, and he thought it looked very like thick and makeup-y on my face. So we'll see how it kind of lasts for the next couple of hours. This is after not a super intense day. It was pretty calm. I laid around a little bit, and I'm gonna do some laying around now. I'm gonna watch some Netflix. But I'll check in with you guys, of course, at hour 12. But right now, guys, it's not looking the hottest. Alright, so it is 10 o'clock. We've actually gone for 12.5 hours, and it looks pretty much the same as it did at the last check-in. A lot has rubbed off on my nose and like right around my mouth area, and we have a lot of like creasing and patchiness right here. Just overall, it still looks really textured and really cakey. It looks like it's also rubbed off quite a bit, like right in this area. So overall, don't love this one. I would say it's not a bad foundation, but it's probably not one of my favorites, not one that I would reach for overall. So I would say, I mean, if we had to rate this one out of 10, I would give it probably a 6 out of 10. I mean, it doesn't look bad considering I've had it on for 12.5 hours and I've spent a lot of time laying around. So overall, not bad. Would I wear it again? Maybe, but I think I'm gonna try possibly mixing this one to lighten it up a little bit just so it's not so thick and cakey. But that is about it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and I will see you all soon. Bye.